got a great opponent this week in a tough environment, place I've played many times. Week 2 the last 2 years in prime time, so doing it now for the 3rd year in a row. It's always been a good challenge. I think Darius Slay has been a really good corner for a long time. Coach Fangio, the defensive coordinator, I think has been a really good defensive play caller for a long time and has a great system. So it's a good challenge. I think they've got some great young players in their core, and it'll be a good challenge for us. So we're ready to have a good week of practice and head up to Philly Monday and try to continue to get better. So take any questions you have, starting with you, Leg.
Yeah, I was talking to Richard Sherman yesterday, and he was talking about the psychology of coming back from the Achilles. Where are you at with that part of it? And he said it looked like you didn't want to put your foot on the ground. And how are you dealing with, trying to play with it and the psychology of, getting, back to trusting that part of your body?
I feel good. If I don't know what he was seeing, but whatever it wasn't my Achilles. It could have been just trying to get the laces or trying to, whatever it may be. But no, the Achilles feels good, and feel like I can move and push as I normally would.
Could you explain how tough that is? He said it's tough coming back from that injury.
Well, it takes time, but I feel like we kind of crossed that threshold a while back, and I think what you have to get back into is the red jerseys off. Mm-hmm. It's live football, not from an Achilles standpoint, but just from playing quarterback standpoint. That we've got to get, having not played since week 8 last year, you just got to get back into that mode. Which practice you try to simulate the best you can, but it's always hard to create that.
And a lot has been made since Sunday of shotgun snaps versus pistol snaps, feet parallel, and you got pictures of you and Washington been up and back. Yeah. Where are we at with the alignments and the formation?
Yeah, we started with pistol back in April. That was a big fundamental philosophy, talking with, our offensive line coach, talking with our coaches as to what we wanted to do schematically. And then they basically said in the pistol, you can stand however you want. And back in April, I said, I just feel like I'm closed off, to the right, handing the ball off. The back's on you really quick in the pistol under center. He's not on you as quick. And I thought, turning right with my right foot forward like I've been in the past. In the pistol, it's hard to do because I'm kind of closed off. It's hard to get open to the back the way I want. So I think I'm going to square up my stance. Watch some tape of Peyton Manning, who, when he was in the pistol, had some success with it. He was kind of a square stance. Thought he looked pretty comfortable, had a good rhythm to it. I thought I'm going to try that. I was going back to 2013. I was in the pistol a lot when I backed up Robert Griffin because of the zone read. We were in the pistol a lot, and I was always a square stance in the pistol. So I thought, going back 10 years, my history in 2013 was 2012 was square stance in the pistol. I'm going to go back to that. So if you go back and watch that tape, 2012, 2013, it was a square stance. And then I was left foot up when Kevin O'Connell got to Minnesota. I'd always been right foot up. He then said, I want to try left foot up. And then went back to right foot up in 23. So it's been a constant evolution, but you're always kind of working through it, and felt like square stance in the pistol made the most sense.
At this point, what's the most comfortable for you?
Just because of what I've been repping it, what you've been doing lately, which would be the square stance. Yeah.
Zach seemed to be indicating that he felt like the pistol was the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
With under center and shotgun. Does that ring true to you in your playing experience?
Yeah, I think you obviously can give some space from the pass rush, and then you also still can have good meshes with your run game. So that's kind of the thought behind it.
Do you feel comfortable? You've had a lot of success in your career under center.
Sure,
so do you
sure.
Yeah,
I think you kind of feel comfortable in all three: gun, under center, pistol. I think it's a little bit of, you call it, I got to go ball it, and I've played in so many systems. I think I've had 9 play callers. I think I've had, on 3 different teams. So, you've learned to kind of say, hey, what do you want to do? What do you believe in? Teach me it and let me go learn it and do it. And that's kind of always been my approach going back, 7, 8, 9 play callers.
To that point, how comfortable are you telling Zach, hey, here's things that have worked for me or not?
Oh, yeah.
Certain play callers, or here's what I've learned.
Yeah, it's been great with Zach, having good feedback, good conversation since April of, hey, here's my history, but also, what have you done? And both ways explaining why. Hey, I want you to do this, here's why. Or, hey, I would like to do this, here's why. So you kind of come to this I wouldn't even say like middle ground, but you come to this place of, okay, here's some feedback I give, here's some feedback you give. So there's a lot of communication back and forth to make sure that we're both feeling good about what we're doing.
I was going to say, he was talking about how voice memos have been
Yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily exchanged by him.
Yeah.
What's like the average length of one of those? Like,
Yeah, I'll just be driving in my car and hit record and just start talking. Hey, Zach, I'm watching film, leaving practice, thinking about this. What do you think about this? What if we try this? Just give you some thoughts. I think it just enables him to listen on his best time, because I may go up to his office. He may be meeting with somebody. He may be busy in the middle of a film session. So you give him the voice memo. He can hear it at his own time and digest it before he has to give a response. I think that's the other thing is, hey, I want to give this some thought. If you like this, let me give it some thought as to the pros and cons, and then let me get back to you as opposed to having to have an answer in the moment. So I like the voice memo thing. I learned that from another quarterback who's retired now, and he told me how you just voice memo his coaches to death. And I thought, that's a good idea. I'm going to try to do that. So.
How much did you feel like self-inflicted penalties as an offense on Sunday really was the result?
It was a big deal. It was a big deal. The word self-inflicted mistakes, even not just penalties, it was a big deal. You cannot beat yourself. Raheem said the night before the game, he said, our offense, I have one goal for you, be clean and crisp. And sounds easy, it's not. But I knew it. I said, if we're a clean and crisp offense tomorrow, we'll win. We were not, and so we lost. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm saying myself. I got to play better. I got to operate it better. And I was probably the center of it not being clean and crisp. So that frustrated me deeply because I take so much, place such an importance on that in running the operation clean and crisp. And so that's what has to be better Monday night.
I know that for you have to turn the page and you got to look to Monday Night Football, but how much did that sit and bother you for a second after Sunday?
Yeah, more than a second. I'm sitting there Sunday night pretty disappointed. But you got games that from 2013 that still bother me, so I got scars, more than Achilles tendon scar. I got scars. So games will do that to you. You care a lot about it. It matters to you. And when it doesn't go how you had wanted it to, it hurts. And so obviously a sense of urgency for Monday.
I think you mentioned that opening drive that you felt like you guys were able to
Right.
some nice work, obviously,
Right.
and then Zach mentioned the same thing. And the 2-minute offense heading into halftime, I mean, how do you look at those and think, okay, there's some nice things there, build upon that?
Certainly, you have a good 12-play drive to start the season, get down into field goal range. Even there, I think we could have been sharper. When we get down to the low red, there might have been a chance to not kick a field goal, score a touchdown if we're more of a clean and crisp offense, as Raheem had challenged us. And even in the 2-minute, though, when you go down and score, go back and watch the tape, there's a play where the ball goes up in the air, Ray catches it, but it also could have been intercepted. And so my point is you have some plays where you go, hey, we scored, but let's look at the process. We still got to be sharper. So it goes both ways. And there were drives where you say, hey, we're way sharper than the result, but the penalty prevented us from being able to show how clean and crisp we are operating. And so it goes both ways. And, we got a small sample size right now, and we got to get out there on the grass and play more games and keep building and see where we are.
There was a note on Twitter that you were in shotgun, passed every play, and then you ran 80% out of pistol. I guess as you do self-scout and as you go forward, I imagine you're probably better off mixing those things up more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get too much into that. I'll kind of leave that to the analytics and the coaches to try to make sure that we don't have tells, but certainly, you don't want any tells, with what you're doing. And so you want to make sure you have a good balance there.
Sunday would have been the most physical stress you put on not just the Achilles, but the rest of you.
Sure.
Wow. So did you feel okay Monday?
Yeah. Yeah, felt good. Was grateful to come out of the game feeling good and during the game. You're always going to have a little muscle soreness in the neck and stuff after games, because it's always like you're in a car accident after each game, but came out just fine.
With the self-inflicted wounds, how do you fix that going into week 2? Is it simple things here and there, or how do you kind of evaluate all that?
There's no way to just, hey, if we do this, we won't make a single mistake. So I wish there was, but it's just, in meetings, it's taking great notes, it's talking through it, it's making sure at practice everybody's on the same page, it's making sure the walkthroughs are tight. If you have questions, they get asked and they get answered. So it's just this constant process every day of coming in here and getting a lot of work done and getting to where you really just can finish each other's sentences and really own the plan. And that's what every week is in this league. And that gives you your best chance then to really operate well come game day.
Have you seen that differently playing panning out this week than it did last week?
No, shame on me or shame on us if it suddenly has to be different. I think it's just your process. You have to keep building. There has to be continuous improvement, and the more time on task you can have, the sharper you can be. But I think we have a pretty good process, and we just have to keep stacking days.
Your last Monday night game, I believe, was right before your injury. Like, do you have that in the
Yes.
back of your mind of like motivation, or like how close do you feel to that level of play?
No, not really. Not really. I remember the game you're referencing. It was great energy. Not really. I think the next week going to Lambeau, I think I'll always kind of associate Lambeau with the injury, but not much beyond that.
How are you going to get Drake London more involved in the attack?
Well, we got to stay on the field. I think we only had 50-some plays, and if you can have 75 plays, that's 25 more opportunities to get Drake London involved. So when you're converting third downs, when you're staying on the field, when you're in manageable down and distances, you're going to get more at-bats for everybody. And if you have 50-play games, it's going to be tough to get your whole unit involved. And then when you're in third and 15, they're going to cover deep and cover the Drake London routes, and you're going to have to check it down. So we just got to, execute well on first and second down and third down and kind of give ourselves the chance to be in advantageous situations, which then gives you the ability to kind of put the wind at your back and involve, everybody that you want to involve.
Kirk, there's a lot of young faces in that locker room who have not played in a Monday night football game. How excited are you for them to experience that in prime time for the first time?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be excited, ready to go. How could you not? It's a great environment, and I think NFL football, no matter where it's played, when it's played, you got to be ready. You got to be at your best, and they know that, and they will be Monday night.
You're about to face a stout defensive front in the Eagles this Monday night. How do you counter that pass rush and protect yourself?
Well, you trust your line in front of you. You trust the plan, but you don't try to hold on to it forever. You try to get through your progressions quickly and be decisive and be accurate, and that's kind of how you play every week, because in the NFL, pass rush is real, and you try to own that every play, and that's what we'll do Monday night.
Did you end up thanking the first guy who hit you?
I didn't. I'm trying to think what that first hit probably would have been. I think it was a third down conversion to Mooney. My neck still hurts from it, but it is what it is. You got popped, and you say, all right, this is football. Here we go. And at one point, T.J. Watt said hello, and he said it in a way where you're like, it's like your neighbor saying hello, down the street. I'm like, yeah, we're not neighbors. So obviously a great person off the field, but he's a problem on it.
There's naturally so much more noise when it comes to primetime games and Monday Night Football. How do you shutter out that noise?
You just go play. I think the shuttering of noise, welcome to the NFL. You got to come into this building, go to work every day, and it doesn't matter when you're playing, who you're playing, where you're playing. It's about, coming to work, doing your job, ignoring the noise. And if you ride this roller coaster in this league, you're going to be riding quite a ride. So you got to find a way to just kind of stay steady. And it's not easy, but it's what you got to do, and it's something that every player and coach is faced with.
A lot of that noise is, some of those numbers, whether the 3 and 10 in Monday night. Is that something that you notice, or is it just like it's all noise?
I'd love to go out and be undefeated on Monday night. I would love to have that be a different record, but I feel like I've always played pretty consistent. Whether we won or lost, okay, there's things that happen that can affect the results, but I think if my play was dramatically different on Monday night, I'd go, hey, I got to go look at this. But when I look at it, I go, not really playing any different. I'm still the same quarterback I am in other days and nights and mornings, and so I think when you feel like your play is consistent, then you say, yeah, the results are what they are. And many times, we were roughly 500, and Monday night we were playing teams that were winning their divisions and finishing 13-3 and going to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. And so, yeah, most of the time the betting odds were that you're probably going to lose. And so it kind of goes that way too, where it's like, hey, you're playing good football teams on Monday night, and you got to face those challenges.
Anything else?
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Yep.